In Vestorias, there are a lot of ice-themed weapons and skills that you can gain for your party. I wanted to find out, can I make a squad built around that concept, doing additional damage to frozen targets without using any charge attacks? And that's what today's video is all about. I'm Ronan. If you're new here, like and subscribe and comment what you want to see next. Alright guys, it is time to break the build down. The bread and butter of this build is going to be a combination of the Were-Owl, Sorceress, and a Snow Ranger. Your other two characters are realistically going to be up to you. I prefer breakers and some type of tank, and I'll talk about weaknesses and things like that in a second. But the way this whole build works is the fact that you have the ability to give yourself max initiative on your Sorceress at the start of combat. That alone I think is very nice because then you can instantly get an ice coffin off and freeze most targets. Now the downside is if you have an enemy that can guard this, you're only going to freeze one target. Either way though, it's still very powerful. I use the sniper lens to give myself eagle eye so that ice coffin will automatically hit the targets that I want. And because I am using a lot of passive points here, especially for Frostbrand Tome and Magic Conferral for my allies, I need a way to recharge my passive points. And that's when the Snow Owl comes in handy, or the Were-Owl I should say, because they have the ability Restore, which I use exclusively on my Sorceress. That way she can consistently get back passive points to give my allies extra damage between Frostbrand and between Magic Conferral. The Snow Ranger has a unique ability, Snow White Strike, that will automatically do 100 extra potency versus frozen targets. That alone is completely bonkers considering there is multiple ways to freeze your targets with this setup. She also has triple counter, and with high evasion this is very useful with her in the front row. She has eagle eye as well, so she will always hit her attacks. She has a great way to attack armored units and a great way to attack any unit that isn't armored as well. Now, your breaker here, I really like. I tried this out with other characters that also have row attacks, and it definitely works out. Realistically, you just need anything with a row attack. However, I like breakers because almost all their attacks are unguardable. Actually, I think all of them are. So as long as they also have a sniper lens, their attack will always hit if they're not blinded. With the Frostbrand Tome and the amount of initiative I have, I will always go and freeze the targets that I want, which is really powerful. They have some incredible damage, so whenever an ally does take damage, they gain 20 attack and 20 accuracy. So when they attack again, they do a lot of damage. If they kill with a salting blow, they get more attack points back. It's just an all-around fantastic build. And if for whatever reason my characters get low, I have multiple heals with the Were-Owl too. Now your tank here is going to be up to you. There are multiple tanks you can use. Legionnaires are nice if you just want a lot of physical walls that don't rely on magic that much. And there's actually a lance you can buy called the Storm of Hail, which will give the ability to have True Strike and freeze the enemy, which is very useful. Another very solid tank is going to be Virginia. She is a beast of a tank. She can self-heal with the Blue Rose Shield. She can, if you use the Nameless Guard Shield, she can actually cover allies and block for them, and she will have blindness immunity. She is a fantastic character to use, and her abilities alone are very powerful. She can get passive points back, she can attack armored units, she can attack flying units, and of course you just have another Iron Crusher here that I like using just to make sure I kill an enemy if they're low. I love her, and she's probably one of the best tanks to use for this because her magic defense and physical defense is really good. And considering the Were-Owls have the ability to give extra magic defense to allies, they can become super tanky. Virginia becomes a complete monster with this build. So let's go ahead and take a look at two different scenarios now. One where I'm fighting characters that aren't going to really guard that much versus the outcome when they will. So first off, we are fighting my Virginia team versus this team now. And my Virginia team is very powerful. I got people that are almost level 40 on that team, and that team does a ton of damage and is very defensive. So as you can see, she is going to guard, but she still gets frozen, which means I can follow up. Bam. Big time damage. Throw Smash comes in, following up, doing more damage. People end up getting frozen. She's almost dead, but not quite. But that's why I now have the ability to follow up. Good damage, ends up dying. Fantastic. I absolutely love this scenario. So with this team, I am completely countering one of my biggest counters because they're frozen, and I'm just able to do all this extra follow-up damage for a lot of bursts and things like that. A lot of support. It's very powerful. I get enraged, so I get the extra accuracy and attack up as well, which I do like. I can heal up. Now that it's his turn, I'm going to use Icicle Dart, which will actually do extra damage. It's True Strike, so he can't miss. Frozen, so she follows up, does good damage. One person's left, Assaulting Blow, goodbye, and she gets her attack point back. I love this combo so much, it's very strong. Now, what about if we want to switch this up here? So let's go ahead and switch it up. I'm going to change him out for Virginia now, because she is another solid tank I really like using for this. And we'll fight the same thing. Same teams, just slightly different here. And you'll actually see how this comes into play during combat. And I'm going to speed it up a little bit here to save time. But you can see now the entire row was protected. And now I miss my attack because of the ability that the Elven Fencer has. I'm still able to do really good damage though, and follow up and completely wipe out the front enemies, which is very nice. Virginia is going to continue to consistently block for me. Look at all that extra damage that I'm just completely blocking for Unifi, which is nice because her evasion is high with this setup, but it could definitely be higher if I wanted extra defenses. I get passive points back from using my attacks, and all that's left is the healer, and now she's just going to die coming up. So no matter what tank you use, you can do very solid damage. Now, what if I switch this out for another tank? Well, as long as you have a way for your main tank that uses a shield to block for your allies, you are set and good to go. One other tank I tried using a little bit ago, which did work for the most part, but I did find had some weaknesses, was actually going to be my Werebear. And the Werebear has some incredible HP. 210 HP, 40 defense, 62 physical attack. I mean, he is just an all-around monster. The downside though, if you take a look at his skills, he has heavy guard, but that only blocks for himself. He needs a way to block for allies. So to do that, you would want to equip a shield that can block for your allies. And taking a look at all the shields that I have, you have quite a few things. You have Enduring Cover if I really needed that. Hasten Cover is very useful. And this is one that I think is really, really nice that you end up getting, I believe, in Act 3 in Albion. But if you did want to end up using a bear tank with this shield, it is another very solid combination. And because I have so much HP with this character, your Round Swing that's based off of HP does extra damage. Earth Shaker based off of HP when I have less HP does extra damage. Life Blow, because it does damage based off of 80% of my max HP, will one-shot pretty much anything in the game. It is another very solid tank, but you do need to have a specific shield to cover allies. Of course, you can use other shields if you want to help cover for allies, but this is like one of the best in my opinion. Anyway guys, I'm Ronan. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, comment what you want to see next. To all my members, I really appreciate you guys. If you want to get early access to these videos, shout outs, and some additional perks from my live streams, then hit join down below.